Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us for Nintendo Treehouse Live at E3 2018. I'm Sam, and we're here with Demetrius and Rich on the end. We're going to be taking a look at some new story content for Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So much new story content that it's practically a whole new game's worth of content.
Yeah, so we have a lot to talk about. Just to give you guys a heads up, the full title for this is Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Torna, the Golden Country. And essentially, for those who've been waiting for this, this is one of the packs for the expansion pass for Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And essentially, it goes back 500 years and tells the story of some of the characters that were in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Right now, I'm actually playing as Laura and Jin. And right away, I'm going to just kind of get into some basic combat because I just kind of want to start the explanation. So for those who have seen Xenoblade Chronicles 2 before, this kind of looks familiar. You see a little bit of a new UI. Things are still kind of similar here with combat. As I'm auto-attacking my enemy here, I'm charging up my arts, and I'm using Hungry Snake, and that just produced a health potion.
It's all pretty familiar so far, if you know the game. All pretty
familiar so far. But when I press up on the plus control pad, wham, I'm now actually in control of my secondary character. So now I'm playing as Jin. So what this means for those who are interested and really fascinated with this type of stuff, you can now play as a Blade and the driver. So this is a more refined combat system, and it's really exciting in the way that breaks down. So if I actually press the start button here, and go into the character screen, you'll see a whole new breakdown of how my team is currently. This is the very beginning of the game, essentially, what we wanted to show you guys. So for Laura and Jin here, they're broken down into enhanced arts. And their arts depend on their foreground, the vanguard, and then their rear guard, the background. And then I also have an art, or abilities for those who don't know, when I switch in and out. So it's really cool what they did here. It gives you a really cool look at stuff. On top of that, I can actually equip weapons now for my driver. This is something that wasn't possible in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. You would just get your weapon of your blade, so you would just get the sword like Jin or something like that. But now we share different weapons and use them back and forth. Super slick stuff. So what I'd like to show you guys today is like the first 20 minutes or so of this game and just kind of give you a tour of what's new. All right, so right now, I just defeated that regular enemy. I'm level 6, so I'm going to make my way through and get attacked by an owl.
With a few fights along the way.
Yes. For those who are listening, we got some new classy jazz music for the battle music here, which I really dig. All right.
Nice
that
work.
enemy was not ready for me.
No, that was a piece of cake for you.
Okay, so I'm going to go through this area right here. We're going to get a little bit of a story element, but I'm not going to play too much of it for you guys. I don't want to ruin too much or spoil too much. And in the interest of time, there's a lot of story to get through, and I want to make sure I hit the right story beats. But just a quick look. We're walking up to the village here. And we see somebody who's alone.
Are you alone?
Looks like the only survivor.
Crazy Smash Brothers sounds in the background.
They're going ham over there.
These burn patterns don't look like Malice's handiwork. Must have been humans. Looting and pillaging while the world burns.
Hey, it's okay. Would you like to come with us? You don't have to worry, really.
So,
we're all good people.
What we're going to do next here is going to go ahead and pass through this a little bit. We're going to skip this. So I just wanted to kind of set the tone for this game. What you saw here actually was Mikhail as a kid. He's a youngin'. You can see he's joining our party as a little side character. But you saw that they're talking about Malos. And Malos is an incredibly tough blade who's pretty much wreaking havoc throughout the entire world. And what's really fascinating about this game is it's a very sombering, like a darker tone of this game. And it has a kind of a very tragic feel to it, so it's a nice, unique take on this. So now to progress here, what I need to do, I need to move on and collect some items. What happened in that, I need to cook. So I need to go to these collection points, make sure I collect enough items. So kind of have to look around. Okay, here we go.
Leave no collection point unturned.
Yes.
Grab some more.
I think that's it. There's one more over here. Got it, got it, got it.
And this is all to showcase another new feature within this story mode segment. Right here.
Okay, so what I'm going to do next is talk a little bit about this mechanic here. So I'm going to actually skip through this a little bit. Let's see here. Start, pause. They're just having a little discussion, but this brings up the camp scenario, and this is a new feature. Essentially, when you get to a camp, you can actually rest, craft items, or chat. And the chat depends on who you have in your party, and you can bring up different topics. So it's a way to have, like I like to say in the series, kind of a heart-to-heart, discussion with everyone.
Build up some characterization
Correct.
and some backstory.
So crafting is really interesting because everybody in your party can make different things. For this, I'm going to do some home cooking, and I want to make like some trout straflu. I'm probably butchering that.
You've got everything you need. Yeah, nice.
Yeah. So that's going to trigger the next sequence here. Do a little more. All right, so we're going to go ahead and skip this part. Seeing them passed out. Little kid's been through some stuff. All right, so my goal right now is to kind of venture through this area. Jin and Laura are working together to survive. They've been together for quite some time. As the story goes, Jin is a blade. He's a very, very tough being, capable of a lot of destruction, but he's very quiet into himself, and he really, really cares for Laura. Laura, as a child, actually was able to take Jin on as a blade, and since then they've had a very, very strong bond together. They care for one another greatly. So now they're just trying to survive, the destruction of that Malice is bringing down, and they're working together to create, a way, like I said, a way to survive. All right, whoops, Jin, where are you going?
For people who are wondering what's going on right here, you just came across a bridge that you couldn't cross, but you were able to use one of your abilities to create a path by knocking down that tree.
Correct, correct.
It's familiar to people who played Xenoblade Chronicles 2, but just wanted to catch up anyone who didn't know what was going on yet.
Yeah, good call out there. And I am going to do a little bit more combat here now. I'm trying to make my way to a boss battle, but I do want to make sure I have enough on me, levels on me, so I don't die.
And you've got Laura up in the vanguard here, so you're seeing all of Laura's abilities charging up, all of her arts.
I didn't get that combo off. I was going to try to combo him. All right, let's try the next guy.
These are all going to be pretty straightforward battles for you. You're not going to need to do anything too crazy.
No, I'm just doing a special right there. All right, I switched to Jin just because it's cool like that.
And when you swap out, you get a switch art that triggers, and then...
Correct, and you can do combos out that too. So I can use an art or ability that causes break, and then I can switch to Jin, and because his ability causes topple, I'll knock the enemy down.
Oh, right away.
So really, really cool combos in the way they set that up. And so it's a slight difference from Xenoblade Chronicles 2, but a welcome change, I would think.
Yeah.
One more thing too, actually, I'd like to cover for those who are curious about the crafting. You might be wondering, well, I know that we had to craft other materials before in the game, and Xenoblade Chronicles 2, how does that work exactly? So if I go in, if I go into Jin, some might be wondering, ox cores, you actually had to craft these in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. What's fascinating now is that enemies just drop complete ox cores. You no longer have to craft these anymore.
Oh, nice, right.
So it's a nice little touch.
Yeah, it really streamlines things. It's nice.
Correct, correct. All right, let's make my way through. I think I'm going to get jumped here in a second.
I know you're not going to be able to keep this save data, but it still hurts my heart to see you passing up all these collection points.
I know, it's the completionist in me. It's like,
oh, geez, I got all of them in here? No. Okay, good.
It's fine. You're fine.
Got to be careful not to hit me. This guy's a little tough. All right, trying to get this hungry snake ability.
Yeah, you need those potions.
There we go. Got break.
Triggered. Sorry.
Bam, toppled,
Down.
and I activate my special ability, do some really great damage.
So that topple came from you switching.
Correct.
And activating a switch art.
Very, very correct. And there's break, topple, launch, and smash, and that's still in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Excuse me, in this new title. God, such a full title to say. So
Yeah, you can go shorthand on that.
In this title, this new title. That way I can save myself from constantly repeating the name over and over again. All right, so we made it to our first destination. We were trying to get to a new town. However, what we're going to see here is that this town is gone. we were trying to meet Hayes, who is another character from Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and also another blade that is under the command of Laura here.
What the?
As you can see here, it's a giant crater.
Yeah,
so
that town isn't just gone.
it's obliterated. So obviously, Malos does not play around. This is the type of chaos and damage that we're dealing with.
It's almost like glass. Rumor among the mercs says that's the hallmark of the Aegis.
But why would he do this?
Okay, so I'm playing this cutscene so you guys can see the setup for the boss fight.
And I love the cinematography for these scenes, too.
Oh, they did such a good job. They both,
Really dramatic.
Monolith has
yeah.
always done such a wonderful job. I've seen this like 4 times, and I'm still like, ooh, get it.
Let's go.
And the boss design on this guy is spectacular.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's get down to business here.
You'll make short work of it.
Yeah.
You got it.
I just gotta make sure I get all of my art abilities charged up.
Yep, every attack is slowly building up your meters on your arts palette.
And you still want to try and use those arts aligned with one of your auto attacks so that you're building up as much as possible.
Correct. And you got a health. You really needed that.
Nice. Swap out. Oh.
I'm gonna just
getting
do a
up
couple
again.
abilities. This boss is pretty tough, but I just gotta manage to keep toppling him as much as possible, and it's a lot easier to get to.
Yeah, you get all those free hits on him while he's down.
Working up maybe possibly to a level 2 ability will be nice.
Okay.
There's level 2.
You already got him down to half.
Yeah, you're doing all right.
Okay, break, and then
Nice
swap
work.
and topple.
And topple also allows me to deal enhanced damage. I need to pick that up. Heal. For those who are curious, in the bottom right-hand screen, you see like a little color, like an ice symbol. That's to symbolize what elemental effect that I'm currently using.
Yeah, the UI enhancements are really strong on this.
Yeah.
I really appreciate all the work that went into the user interface.
Great streamline of a lot of the menus. There we go. Piece of cake. I actually defeated this boss compared to yesterday.
It highlights the difficulty of challenge battle mode, you know? We don't need to go back to it, but that is a hard thing.
This is no normal monster.
Not
Okay,
in our
key scene here,
Titan
key
weapon
scene.
either.
Maybe it's Malice's.
Okay.
Get down, you two! What?
So for me, this was the moment where I lost my mind and was super excited as a Xenoblade Chronicles fan, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 fan in particular. This moment, I'll let it play out for a second.
That was a close one.
Looks like Malos's artificers are still roaming around.
So it was.
Who is it? Who is it?
Hey, wait a minute.
So for those who are wondering what that big reveal is, this is Adam, one of the particular characters that was always talked about in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, but we've never seen him before. So this is the very first reveal of Adam.
I came all the way out here, and who do I say but the paragon of Torna and his driver? You're so young. That core crystal was stolen 17 years ago. Quite a feat to pull off that heist at that age.
Indeed. But Adam, no more spoilers. No more spoilers for you, Adam. So what we're going to do here is battle Adam and Mitra.
His blade.
And what we'll do is after we beat them, we'll be able to actually show them off in combat. First, I gotta beat them, and they're level 10, and I'm level 9, so I gotta be careful.
It's fine, you got this.
Yeah, to share. One thing that was really funny, too, for my first time playing Xenoblade Chronicles 2, you're always used to just battling a driver, and then when you defeat the driver, their blade is gone. But in this game, it's not like that. So I was like, all right, cool, I defeated Adam, and it's over. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, why is Mitra still attacking me? Oh, there are 2 separate characters now.
And this game is just filled with treats for people who know the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 story, but it actually stands alone really well as a prologue to Xenoblade Chronicles 2 if you choose to play it in that order.
You can play it in any order you want. These stories do stand alone by themselves, but there is, you know, connection to it. But any order you play it, it's still going to be great. I recommend this game also if you've been wanting to get into the Xenoblade Chronicles series and you want something that's a good starting point. This is going to be a great game for that.
And so Mithra's down, and you're taking care of Adam now.
Yes. I'm doing pretty good so far.
Nice. Oh yeah.
There we go.
Piece of cake.
Shoo. Okay. So we ended up getting them. Oh, here's just a little cool cutscene. I'm going to skip this segment just to kind of highlight again what we're talking about. Just the capture that they do, all the work that goes through these scenes.
Like the look and feel of the cinematics.
They're so great.
The hell are these two?
All right.
They're just a dagger and blade. Where's the strength coming from?
Where is it indeed? Okay, so now that we battled Adam and Mitra, why don't we take a closer look at them and see what they have to offer. So my party formation has changed. I now have Milton as well in my party. This is part of the story, just for people like, what? And then since we also met up with Hayes, I now actually have Hayes in my party as well. So if you look in the bottom left, there's a couple things that just additionally happened. First of all, I can now switch between 2 different drivers, which is amazing. And if you see that little sparkly character icon, so this is my talent art. This is something that's returning from the original Xenoblade Chronicles game. So everybody actually now has their own particular talents. And if you're wondering, well, what exactly do you mean by that? For those who have played Xenoblade Chronicles, the original one, each one had their own particular talent art. Like Shulk had the Monado, and he had this Monado arts. So when I pick Laura here, you'll notice her talent art is Swallow's Flight. So anytime I'm in combat, when I tap on the right, on the plus control pad here, I actually can sacrifice some HP to charge all of my arts instantly. So everybody has different abilities. So, for example, let's see, Adam here reduces his own HP by 25% of a maximum to extend the driver combo time, so I can have a longer chance to deal bigger damage, essentially. Everybody has different abilities like that. Even the blades have these, so it's super, super cool stuff. And it's awesome to see that back. Now, Adam himself, right now he has the lightning element on his weapon, so you can actually change that out. If I were to change the different accessories owned here, but I don't have it at this time. I just wanted to point that out. If I go into Affinity Chart, all the Affinity Charts from Xenoblade Chronicles 2 are back. Each character, of course, has new tailored stuff to them in this particular game. There's also pouch setups. Let's see here. If I go into Arts, he has Rising Arc, Legion Slasher, Ogre Smash. And in rear guard, he has Fury Wave, Shadow Thrust, and Cutting Edge. And then his switch art is Illustrious Slash, which also can topple, so it's great. I can even go in and control them if I wanted to. So I'll switch out. And let's get into a quick battle. Let's go over here. I'm going to advance the story a bit because I want to try to make it to this new area. For those who are unaware, we are actually on in the Kingdom of Torna. This is a brand new Titan, a brand new world, I guess you would say, or continent, for those who are unaware. So this is all part of the story. So really cool stuff. This is going to be a pretty big Titan to explore.
Yeah. So people who may not be familiar with Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I'll run through the sort of basic idea. Every continent is on the back of a gigantic monster called a Titan. And you've heard about Torna if you've played Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So this is your first chance to explore Torna in its entirety.
Right,
Exactly.
because again, this takes place 500 years before the events of Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Yeah, and that goes, again, like what you said, 500 years before, and just going back to, like we're talking about, playing this out of order in, whatever way you want, it's cool to learn, everything that happens in this game leads to the events of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, so either way you play it, it's really cool, just going back to that message.
Oh, that was short work right there.
Oh yeah, we have to fight a couple waves of it. I'm just going to keep skipping through this. I have to get to this little story quest here to get to the next area, so I'm just going to power through it. So pardon me if I know I'm skipping a lot, but I'm just trying to show you guys as much content as possible. All right, let's switch out when I can. Oh, there we go.
Nice.
Mitra does so much damage. It's love it. I love it. Let's switch out to Mitra here. For those who have played the original, those who played Xenoblade Chronicles 2, really neat touch is Mitra's art or all her special attacks in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So it's really neat. She has some new abilities. Also, you can tell it because I'm using Mitra, my elemental ability changed to light. So cool little effect. That way you know what you're using. All right, got rid of this miasma. Just gotta dispel it, and we can be on our way. And this is going back to what you said earlier.
Right. About
each blade has your different special abilities to unlock certain things along the map, world map. Miasma's gone. Skip that. Okay. I know we're getting a little low on time here, so I think I'm right on time, though, to make this.
I think we're fine. Yeah. We're racing against the clock. I think we can get there.
All right.
You can rest easy now.
Give me all the gold, all the XP, and all the special points so I can make my guy stronger.
But you left behind that collection point.
It's the worst thing about demoing live. Like, it's honestly the worst thing about demonstrating these games live. It's like, let it go.
You're killing me.
There's a little part inside of my heart that's like,
yeah.
Should we go on this quest? Nah.
So much left behind.
Loot this? Nah. It's true, though. I mean, especially in this game, this series is known for having so much density, right? There's so much stuff to explore. You just kind of point somewhere and you're like, I'm going to go here and see what's up. Just before I leave this area, I just kind of want to show you over here, back there is the Kingdom of Torna. If you just kind of scroll slowly around, you'll see how massive this Titan truly is. Really cool.
Can you even see its head from here?
No,
I don't think you can.
It's up forward this way.
It's way that way.
Yeah, I'm like pointing like everyone at home can see me. So
look, it's right there.
It's right there. Yeah, you can totally see it, right? All right, so we're gonna set out, and we're actually gonna go to Gormat. And the reason I really wanted to show this as the last part, for those who have never played Xenoblade Chronicles 2, this is an actual Titan in the other game. Yeah. But this is set 500 years ago. So we're gonna see this Titan when it was just beginning to be developed. So Torgoth, the main city, doesn't exist. It's not there. So there's cool touches and new enemies to explore and a new whole like idea of what this world was like 500 years ago. It has its own identity. So really cool stuff.
So even the familiar areas from the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 are going to be different, re-exploring them in this game.
I don't know if every Titan is in this game. I think it might just be 2 or so, but but the areas that were like in this are slightly modified, and I think it's going to be a great surprise. Like, you could never catch an airship here. This is new, like little cool touches that I think it's really cool. It just sets this game as its own pace, and also just enjoyable experience for those who've played the Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Gormat, hi,
His
buddy.
head always in the clouds, always dreaming.
And as you can see, beautiful area, huge, massive things to explore. And what we'll do here is I'll probably battle one final boss. I'm probably going to get wrecked because he's a way higher level than me, but I love this boss's name. Not boss, but this unique monster's name. It just cracks me up every time I see it, and I can't wait to show it off to everybody. Okay, let's get right through this. We've landed, we're here, we need to look around. All right, so Lasham Cove, let's go through this.
And this is already, like, the terrain itself is familiar. I recognize landmarks in the distance.
But if I turn to the right, you'll see that there's no Torgoth right there. Yeah. And if I look at this guy, over-affectionate Murph.
Oh, Murph.
Whoever created this name, you're awesome. So
sweet
let's
Murph.
attack over-affectionate Murph and just see what happens when... Oh, wait, come here. Hey, recognize me.
You just got to get Murph's attention. Oh,
right.
That's one way to do it.
Just a quick level check. You were 10 and 11 over there, and he's 18. So I don't expect this to go very well for you.
I just wanted to attack to kind of talk about it and see how it goes down. Oh, I'm going to get destroyed. So I know we're quickly running out of time. So one thing I just wanted to recap is, of course, I said that this is part of the expansion pass, but we did reveal yesterday that this will be sold at retail as its own standalone game. So you have 2 different options If you want to purchase Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and Xenoblade Chronicles Expansion Pass, this is one way to get the game. The other way is to get this game at retail. Wow, I died right on the clock.
That was quick. Right on the mark.
You survived longer than I expected, actually.
I know. Actually, I'm kind of surprised by that. But once again, thanks, guys. Can't wait to show this off again sometime.
Real
Really
quick,
happy.
one other thing that fans are going to be real curious about on the audio.
And just note, I saw, what was that?
Oh, on the audio about English dub and...
Right. This game will be in Japanese and English, so English language and Japanese subtitles. Excuse me,
voice.
Japanese voice, English subtitles. As well, one thing we wanted to quickly point out. Yesterday, I saw people talking about Shulk and Fjord and whether they can be brought into the main game.
Yeah.
Just wanted to tell everybody that you can actually, if you work for specific sequences, you can actually bring those two into the main game. So don't worry about that, folks. I wanted to get that covered, and thank you for reminding for that. So yes.
Well,
that's all I got.
Oh, thank you very much, Demetrius, for showing us Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Torna, the Golden Country. We'll be up with more Nintendo Treehouse Live coming up next. We're going to be taking a look at Super Mario Party. Stay tuned.